Hi everyone. So today in this video what I would like to talk about is how you can best support autistic people in social situations. Now it is well documented that people who are on the autism spectrum have poorer social skills and they struggle in social situations. So what I would like to do here is come up with a few ways of how you can support them and make life easier for them in social situations. Now, just to be clear, if a group of people are talking, hanging out, and one of them is autistic, the rest of them aren't, I'm not saying that all the non-autistic people should modify their behavior to suit the autistic person's needs. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to go that far. But there are things you can do to support them. So, what I've noticed from my experience is that when I'm with a group of friends, often the conversation goes very fast, which is understandable. And what I've noticed is that I'm in a social situation and I'm thinking, okay, I've thought of something to say, and it's on topic, but I can't say it yet because this person's talking. So I'm going to wait for this person to finish, and then I'm going to say what I want to say. And then when that person finishes talking, immediately another person starts to talk. And then when that person finishes talking, straight away another person starts to talk. Conversations tend to go very quickly, and this can be challenging for people like me to keep up. But this isn't about me. This is about autistic people all over the world, obviously. And before you know it, the conversation moves on to another topic, and what you wanted to say was relating to a different topic. So, I'm not saying you should slow down the conversation, no, but what I am saying you can do is that once you've finished talking about a particular topic, before you move on to the next one, turn to the person who hasn't said anything yet and say, have you got anything else to add? And you don't have to just do that with autistic people. You can do that with anybody as a way to, get them involved in the conversation, make social situations a bit easier. Because, well, we don't like to be in situations where we want to say something, but we don't feel like we have the chance. I'm not judging anyone, but yeah, that is one way you can do something to help. And if you try and get an autistic person involved in the conversation and they don't say anything, okay, please don't let that put you off trying to get them involved again at a later point. Okay, another thing. One thing that's also well known is that people who are on the autism spectrum tend to have special interests. And often when we get into a conversation with a friend or colleague at work, sometimes we only want to talk about that specific interest. We sometimes struggle to talk about other things. One thing you could say, if you're in a situation where an autistic person is only talking about their interest and you feel like you don't have anything to say, or you feel like it doesn't relate to you, what you could say to them, I think it's wonderful that you're interested in this, but could we also talk about something else? Because I don't know much about this topic, and yeah, can we talk about something else? I think it can be difficult when someone only wants to talk about their interest, but there are ways you can try and steer the conversation to something else and work out a win-win situation for the two of you. One more thing I'd like to say. One thing that people on the autism spectrum like me often do is we copy the way that other people talk. Sometimes we copy what they say, sometimes we copy what they say and the way they say it. So yeah, a couple of my friends are autistic, and I saw a meme on Facebook not too long ago saying, it was from an autism page, and it said, when you copy something during a conversation and you copy the wrong thing and then the awkwardness is off the scale. Yeah, that can happen. But it doesn't have to be this way. If someone who's on the autism spectrum copies something during a conversation, if they say something during a conversation which, they've copied from somewhere, like a film or TV show, it doesn't have to be awkward. You can turn it into an opportunity. Here's what I mean by that. Got my Canada t-shirt on. If you're having a conversation with somebody on the spectrum and they copy a line from a film or a TV show, you can say, oh, you've seen that film. Or you've seen that show, I've seen it too. And that can be a conversation starter. That can be a way to continue the conversation. So, often when we copy the way that other people say something, or when we copy lines from films or TV, it doesn't have to cause an awkward moment. It can be used as an opportunity to move the conversation on to a different topic. And, or, alternatively, if I'm in a social situation and I copy a line from film or TV, whatever, and there's an awkward silence, I don't think that should be an end to the conversation. There's always a way to break the ice. Never give up. That's what I say. However, one thing I've also noticed, and this is something I've done as well, there are times when in a social situation we can copy what other people say and we can say something inappropriate. Like we copy a line from a TV show or a film, and we copy something that a character said that was aggressive or threatening. And it can be an inappropriate moment. In that situation, what you can say to an autistic person is, please don't say things like that. It's not appropriate, but I'm sure you didn't mean it. I'm sure you didn't mean it. So sometimes we can, when we copy lines and phrases, it's just something we do. We sometimes don't mean what we're saying at all. Right. Yeah, and I think there are always times when you try and make friends with somebody, but friendships don't always work out. Well, if you try and make friends with someone who's on the autism spectrum and sadly it doesn't work out, I think the best thing to do is to wish them well, thank them for their time. I think the phenomenon of ghosting is not the best idea. People on the autism spectrum, we're all different from each other, that's right, but we tend to be quite direct. You can be direct with an autistic person and say, look, I think you're great, but I think we should move on. Yeah, that's much better than ghosting them. Sure. Just before I end, one more thing that I'd like to say. You may have heard of something called camouflaging. This is when someone who's autistic tries to hide their autism by acting like a non-autistic person. They try and mask all their autism symptoms. It's something that a lot of us do, and it can be, I don't see it as a good thing. It can be quite saddening to do that. Just a personal anecdote here. I was on the phone to an autism society close to where I live, and the lady knew I was autistic, and when I was speaking to her, I felt like I could be myself. She must have known I was autistic. I felt like, I can be myself, I don't have to hide my autism, I don't have to pretend to act like a neurotypical person, and it made me feel very good. I liked it, and if you're in social situations and other situations, if you make an autistic person feel like they can be themselves and you will accept them for it, I don't know if you can begin to imagine what a positive effect it will have on them. I mean, really positive. Yeah, you have the power to do that, you know. I know change can happen in the world, and if you make life easy for someone who's autistic, other people will see that, and they will emulate your behavior, and then other people will see them, they will emulate that behavior, and it's the first step to making the world an easier place for those of us on the spectrum, because yeah, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, everyone. Take care of yourselves.